A research day featuring water-type Pokemon is coming to Pokemon Go, and this is definitely something worth being excited about. I'm going to be going over the important details for this event in this video. Let's get right into it. Yo, what's happening everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So we're getting a research day, and this is going to be a research day featuring a whole bunch of water-type Pokemon. And it's actually a repeat research day. We have had these Pokemon in the past get a research day, and this is kind of like what you would say is the equivalent to like a community day classic. But when it comes to research days, we do not get them as often, and anytime we have them, I get really excited about it because research days are, in my opinion, very underrated. It's a great form of alternative content to, let's say, like community days as well as raid days, and I wish Niantic did them more often, but besides the point, I'm really excited about this next one. There's a couple of Pokemon from this research day that I completely missed beforehand, so I'm excited at the idea of getting shinies for them. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, let's actually go over the details for this research day. There's not a whole bunch of info, but essentially I'll talk about how research days go down after I talk about all of the specific details for this one. The Replay Water Research Day is going to be happening on March 21st from 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. local time. And the Pokemon that are going to be featured for this research day include Lotad, Feebas, as well as Clamperl. All three of these Pokemon had their own research day in the past, and they're essentially going to be combined for this Replay Research Day. Now, alongside these Pokemon, which you will be able to get from field research tasks during the event hours, you're also going to be seeing Magikarp, Chinchou, as well as Marini in the wild, and something to keep in mind is that if you still need to complete your Fisherman Medal, then all of those Magikarp spawns are definitely going to help you do that. And then of course, the big thing with this research day is going to be those research tasks. And you're going to be getting Lotad, Feebas, and Clamperl as rewards, and they're going to have a boosted shiny rate. I believe the boosted shiny rate is going to be somewhere in like 1 to 60, so if you complete 60 field research tasks, you're almost guaranteed a shiny just based on the mathematics. And then of course there's a paid timed research which is going to give you additional rewards, and these include additional Lotad, Feebas, and Clamperl encounters, Stardust, as well as experience. If you want to get more bang for your buck, and you really want to get a particular shiny, this could be the way you could do it. Basically, it really comes down to how many research tasks you complete in order to get the most out of this event, so make sure you go to a high population area where there is a ton of points of interest, specifically Pokestops. Do keep in mind that Pokestops are the ones that give you field research tasks, so gyms are not necessarily going to give you those tasks for these Pokemon encounters. So yeah, that is an important tidbit that you really do need to keep in mind when it comes to this event. Alright, so the first thing we do need to talk about is in regards to research days themselves. Of course, you need to be in an area where there is a ton of Pokestops. One of the things that I always suggest is that you plan to go to like a major city or even a major suburb. As long as there is a whole bunch of Pokestops, you're going to be able to get a lot of shinies. And in particular for this one, I think the inclusion of 3 Pokemon that you could potentially get is going to be interesting. Anytime they double up or triple up with Pokemon from the research days, like, it can be really good or it could be really disappointing. Maybe you only want one of the Pokemon shinies and you don't really care about the other 2. If that is the case, then yeah, this is going to be incredibly frustrating. But overall, I still think it's a lot of fun. I mean, something you need to keep in mind is that Pokemon you get from field research tasks have a much higher IV floor than if you were to pick them up in the wild. That is something that a lot of players tend to forget. It's always one of those things where if you were to get a boosted shiny rate for research tasks, then you should always do them. And for this particular event, that is precisely what that is. But of course, you need a whole bunch of Pokestops. That is kind of like the key difference between, let's say, like a community day as well as a research day. With community days, you could pick up a shiny from home. You don't need a Pokestop around you. But with research days, it depends on how many Pokestops you have. If you do not have a lot of Pokestops, you're not going to get a lot out of this event. Unfortunately, the reality is, if you live in a rural area, you may have to drive to a higher population area. And that has certainly been the case for me. I live in a suburb where there is not a lot of Pokestops, and typically I need to drive to a downtown area of the nearby town, or I'll go to downtown Chicago. It will obviously require a lot more planning, but you could totally make a trip out of it and actually have a really good time with your friends. But if you live in an area where there is a ton of Pokestops, then you're going to complete more tasks and get more shinies. That is always something regarding these research tasks, which I feel like is the reason so many players simply do not care about it. I think one of the things that Niantic used to do, especially because of the pandemic, they would have a timed research which you could complete from home, and that timed research would award you with, the Research Day Pokemon. It was kind of like the at-home version of Research Days, and they haven't really gone back to that in a while. I kind of wish they did like a hybrid system where they would have both, like a timed research as well as the research tasks from Pokestops. I think that would have been a great way to get a lot more players on board with Research Days, but they haven't done that in a while, so yeah, that's a little bit disappointing, but that's besides the point. I'm still really excited about this. I plan to go to like a major city, grind it out for the entire 3 hours, try to get as many shinies as I can. I think a couple of Shundos, as well as 98% IV shinies that are in my collection are actually from Research Days. So let me tell you, it's a great way to get yourself high IV shinies. It's probably one of the best things about these Research Days. So yeah, when it comes, make sure you go out and complete as many research tasks as possible during the event hours, pick yourself up some high IV shinies, and have yourself a great time. I think it's going to be a good event. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Definitely share your thoughts regarding this upcoming Research Day down below. Are you going to be participating? Do you feel like these are some of the events that you tend to skip? Definitely share your reasons for thinking that in the comments. And yeah, let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you really enjoyed it and you want to support my channel, of course, the best way you can do that is by hitting the like button for this video, and also subscribe if you haven't done so already, and also turn on that notification bell so you know exactly when I upload videos. And make sure you check out the links in the description below. One of them is to my Patreon page. That's how you could play Pokemon Go with me, by becoming a Patreon member. And there's also a link to my Etsy store as well, which is something that I've been doing on the side. It's something that I have been putting a lot of work and care into. I'm basically creating a whole bunch of merch for anime and K-pop, which are my two biggest passions, and if that is also your passions, maybe you'll find something that you'll like, so make sure you go and check it out. Alright, with all that said, that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, have yourself a great week, and I'll catch you all later.